Hey guys, we're here with Corey Geary in Phoenix, Arizona, a nationwide wholesaler. We're just toured his office and we're going to be talking about PPC marketing. All right, so my guy, you started in PPC. I mean, you started in cold calling like I did.
Correct.
And now you're doing PPC nationwide.
Nationwide.
All over the US.
That's absolutely correct.
So there's only a few people I know that are doing that. It's you, Sean Terry, and Nick Perry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's more guys, but y'all are the ones that are kind of pioneering this thing.
Pioneer, and they're all my friends.
They're all your friends. So we actually were just in the same mastermind, last weekend?
Yeah, in Houston.
And Sean Terry was out there, and he was showing us how he does $900,000 a month.
That's about roughly what he makes right now.
So that's just to show you like where this thing can go. Right, and you're figuring this out. You're a pioneer in this new marketing channel.
Yep.
Tell me, what do you think? What do you like more about this than the cold calling, telemarketing leads, and marketing channel?
The biggest thing I like the most is the mindset of the sellers when they're calling in. These guys actually want to sell. You know, they're not, some cold lead. You call them back and be like, well, you called us, give us an offer. Mm-hmm. These guys are genuinely want to sell. Now, you can still get your retail sellers that want to sell and maybe some unrealistic sellers, but it's a lot less likely than you do with your cold calling.
Right.
They're not going to just be like, oh, give me $1 million.
Right.
They want to sell, and they know that there's a price for the property because their mindset's in a different spot, So these leads are hot. Now, just give you examples. I think I talked about a little earlier, telecommunications is around 70 leads per contract for us in our local market here in Phoenix, where PPC nationwide are about 19 leads per contract. And I know some guys who are getting even better than that. I've heard of 15 leads per contract. So the quality of lead is gold.
Okay.
And that's what we love about it. And as you do the nationwide PPC model, your cost per lead gets really cheap because the more you restrict Google, the higher your cost per conversion is. The more you open it up and go more broad, the lower your cost per conversion is.
Okay. And this is still kind of like a fairly new channel. So you're kind of like pioneering this thing, figuring it out. No one's really like mastered it yet.
Not entirely.
I mean, because like you would think like with cold calling nationwide, people have mastered that, right? We have call centers in all over like South America, the Philippines, and all that.
Yep.
And that's actually what I do. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is that it's 20 or 19 calls per conversion.
Right.
That'll keep your acquisition agents fresh.
It does.
You know what I mean? Because my guys, they're calling all day, and sometimes they won't get a contract for a few days, and just getting no after no after no after beating them up, right? Hey, you know how cold calling is. Stop calling me, or you called me and give me. They're rough. Yeah. They're tough leads, right?
They are tough.
And so I could imagine how that could really boost the morale of your team.
It does.
Because when you're popping a contract, I mean, if it's every 19. They should be popping a contract a day.
We do pop a contract about a day. That's about the average.
So that's very, that's building momentum, right?
It is building momentum.
If you know you're gonna come to work and get a contract, you want to come to work.
Yeah, and they're a lot happier because they're making a lot more money. You know what I mean? They know the money's coming. As long as I keep that lead flow going, and as long as I do my part, they're gonna do their part all day.
And so the thing we were talking about earlier was I'm just thinking about it, looking from the outside in. You're doing nationwide wholesaling.
Yep.
So you're getting you're not restricting any markets. It can come from the desert.
It can.
Right, like they can be like in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
So
it happens all the time.
Right. So I'm sure that your bottleneck, once you started figuring this out, getting all these contracts a day, was okay. Now how do we move these things?
That was the bottleneck. At first, yeah.
Okay. So tell me, how did you figure that part out?
Figured that part out in the beginning by just grunt work. Going on realtor.com, figuring out who the realtors are, who represent the buyers in that market, pulling the flippers out of PropStream, right? Scraping the MLSs in that area for cash buyers. It was a real rigorous, it was grunt work, cold calling all these people. Say, hey, I got a property locked up on 123 Main Street. We were gonna flip it, but now we decided to just wholesale it. I saw you sold a property on 124 Main Street. Would you be interested in this property, or do you know somebody who would be interested in this property?
Right.
And those are the conversations you're having with these realtors.
Okay.
A lot of the times that's who you're utilizing as realtors, because one realtor is either an investor or he knows 10 investors, especially the top performing ones, right? Where cash buyers, they're usually the only cash buyer, and it's just them.
Yeah.
They just know them. They might have some buddies who might be interested.
But they don't want to give them a deal anyway.
They really don't. No, scarcity mindset.
Yeah. So I actually use realtors real heavy in my market too.
Yep.
That's one thing I do. So that's a tip for y'all. If you're wholesaling in any major market, buy the realtor list and blast that thing with your deals.
Yep, we bought the nationwide realtor list. I spent probably about $3,000 on that list. I can't remember the exact dollar, but it gave us all the realtors in the whole nation. They give them the phone numbers and emails.
If you're getting value from this, make sure to go follow my man on Facebook. Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on all the platforms, but
Okay.
the one I'm predominantly on is Facebook. I'm kind of old school in that way. I'm on Instagram too. And the only one I guess I'm not on is TikTok, but I'm going to start getting on there too. It's becoming the new trend.
Yeah.
Everyone's loving TikTok, so I might be sticking my head in there here and there just to start dabbling with it.
Okay. You're using the realtors. I use realtors. And like you were saying, the investors, they're not going to give you, they're not trying to give deals away. So, but realtors are making 3%.
That's
so
correct.
It makes sense.
And stack it in there, you know what I mean? And let them know up front. And we don't even try to do 3%. We try to do $1,000 for every $100,000 the property is being sold for. So if we're selling that property for $200,000, we want to at least stack in a couple grand. Now, obviously, they're going to beat you up sometimes, and it's just negotiations like any other thing.
Right.
You know, my disposition, Sylvester knows, you know, well, he's going to try to beat him up and get that lowest, you know, fee as possible to try to make us the most money. But you got to pay them and to do work for you, right? Everyone's got to eat. We try to stack in a little bit for them. We also let them know, say, hey, you know, Mr. Realtor, you know, we're selling us at $290. We got a couple grand stacked in for you, but if you're able to go ahead and sell to one of your clients for $295, we'll let you keep the difference.
Yeah, that's what I do. So I do it. I let my guys know to tell realtors right from the get-go, you can sell all of our deals because the market's so hot. We're like a gold mine.
No inventory.
No inventory, and they know, like, because they're putting MLS offers all day long and they're not getting anything.
Correct.
The market's so hot because they got to go over the price, right? And they got to have some great terms to get accepted. So as with us, we make it easy. Look, we got off-market flips for you, for your clients. You're gonna look like a champion, right?
Yep.
Like bringing them all these deals, and you know, all we ask is that you put your fee on top. I don't care if you make 20 and I make 10.
Yep.
I don't care. Just give me what I want. If you have a buyer that's good, you know.
We had one like that yesterday. We're making 10 and they're making 15.
I don't care.
We're like, just push it through. Yeah, I don't care. We got what we wanted for it.
Full
We're
price.
good to go. And you know, we got a buyer locked up. So I mean, it's one we can check mark off the board and not have to worry about. Let's move to the next deal.
Yeah.
It's a volume play.
Exactly.
Total volume play in this game.
Exactly. So I was like, that's what we do, and it never comes out of our fee. And then, but one thing, guys, too, is when you're talking with realtors, you got to make sure to let them understand that their buyer's paying the closing costs. There's no inspections. It's cash. All these things, because realtors are wired a different way.
Correct.
They're used to the seller paying the closing costs. You know, there being all sorts of contingencies.
Right. Inspections.
Yeah, all that stuff. And with us, it's just, hey, look, with us, it's $3,500 non-refundable deposit. What's yours?
35. We're $5,000 non-refundable. Depending on the property purchase price. If we're in Ohio and we're selling a property for $40,000, we're not going to ask for $5,000.
Right. So yeah, that's the way we're, and it's non-refundable.
It's non-refundable.
No contingencies.
No contingencies.
Only one contingency, right? If the title's clear.
If title's clear, correct. So, or if there was some kind of like discussion with the buyer, like we know the property's gonna be vacant at close, and that it was an upfront discussion with the seller, and then if something happens where it's not vacant at close, we have a property like that right now. You know, the buyer's like, you told us that it was gonna be vacant at close, so we gotta honor our word. So we're saying, okay, you know, either A, we can let you out of the contract, give you $5K back. B, how about we give you $15K off the purchase price? You can keep 10 for yourself. You can give $5K to the tenant. You can cash for keys to get them out of there for your headache, and we make this deal happen. So we're literally right now in the middle of one of those conversations.
And that's in California.
That's in California.
So that's
we got 30 stacked on it. I'm just trying to move it. I don't care if I make 15 on this one. California, you got some really big spreads. Our average deal size in California is around 50.
That's nice. And that's all PPC.
That's all PPC.
Oh man, that's
all
awesome.
PPC.
And you don't even target it.
We target the whole state.
Oh, so you target the nation, or you also have
we
individual
do state by
states?
state.
Oh,
so I'm in 26 states right now, and what we do is we turn a state on, let it run for 2 months, analyze the KPIs. I want to know what my cost per deal is there. I want to know how many deals we got. I want to know how many deals stuck where we got a buyer in place and we performed. And then I also go into my team and like, hey guys, how do you like playing in California? And they're gonna let me know. They're like, oh, we love it. You know, we're locking deals up. The sellers are great. You know, Disposition's working. So they're in the weeds every day. So when you're adjusting your marketing, talk to your team. They know more about it than you do because they're in the weeds. The only thing you can look at from your perspective is your KPIs. But those are just numbers. Now, numbers don't lie, which is great, but talk to your team. They have an input, I promise you.
Right. So I'm a deep believer in that as well. So how often do you have your team meetings? Like, do you have like a department meeting?
Yep.
Often?
Yep. We have a full team meeting, a Monday morning meeting every single Monday, and then it's just kind of a high level overview of what happened the week before, how many contracts were locked up, how many deals are sold, what spiffs are we going to offer, to incentivize people. That's usually also when we do the spinning of the wheel of all the contracts locked up from the week before, and then we do a 5-minute meditation to get everybody in the zone for the rest of the week. That is
I like
key.
that a lot.
And then we do 2 disposition meetings every week.
Okay.
One on Wednesdays where it's just me and the disposition team to discuss any stucks on properties, which you're going to have a lot of when you're in a nationwide wholesaling business. And then on Fridays we have it with the whole team, including the ACs, to see if they can have any input on how to move that file. Sometimes it's something to do with the seller, and the ACT might know something that our dispo side didn't know. So we try to make sure that communication stays, fully transparent. So that's why we do it on Fridays with the whole team.
Okay, and so by stucks, you're saying we have a lot of stucks, and that's what happens nationwide. Are you just talking about deals that can't move? Is that what you mean?
Deals
by
that are having problems moving.
Okay.
Like you said earlier, it could be title issues, it could be liens, it could be heirs come to the table that want their interest. Maybe it needs to be probated. Maybe the promising of the tenants being vacant, and now promising the property being vacant, and the tenants are stuck in there because they got no money and they're Section 8, and they're we have to figure out a cash or key solution. So there's all kinds of little creative ways to get around and get solutions to get those properties moved. Sometimes we might have to go back and renegotiate the deals, right? Because we got a lot of offers from buyers, but all the offers we got was like $10K than what the purchase price was. So we got to go back, re-hit the seller, and say, listen, this is why we got to need it at this price. Explain to him what our buyers are telling us because they've seen the property, and then renegotiate the contract.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense. As far as your team, are they hourly? Are they commissions only? Are they salary? I know I've seen a bunch of different pay models.
Yep.
Personally, I do all salary. Or when they first start, I do a small salary. Okay. And then I do a small commission. And then once they go after like a 3-month period, and I hire them full time, then I just go full commission.
Full commission.
What do you do?
So yeah, all the ways work. Salaries with commissions, just commissions only. With the upfront, if you're doing commission only, the way you do it is perfect because they got to eat when they're scaling up, right? They're filling up their pipeline. They're getting all new leads. They might have some old junk leads that they're working, but they got to eat while they're ramping up.
Right.
We do an hourly. So I pay them hourly. So when they're in the office, they're getting hourly. They clock in on the iPad and they clock out and they leave. That way, when they're in the office, they feel like they're getting something when they're working in here. And then they get commissions on top.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I'm one of the only ones in the industry that does it like that.
I kind of like it.
And it kind of came from my mindset when I ran my call center in my house. When you run cold callers, that's how you pay them is hourly. Right? Because they're not getting any big commissions. We pay them like maybe $200 on every closed deal. So you got to pay them by the by the dial time. So that's how I kind of transitioned. Some of these guys, they were my callers and they were rock stars. Like, okay, you're gonna come over and do acquisitions from your dispositions. And then the pay structure was like, well, how are we gonna get paid? I'll tell you what, let's keep the hourly to keep you guys motivated and eating and being in the office, and then let's stack on these huge commissions for you.
I kind of like that. I've honestly never heard of that one.
Yeah.
So how much do you pay them hourly?
They get $16 an hour, and
that's really good.
$16 an hour on the ag side with 7.5% commission, and then the disposition is kind of a weird split. Junior gets 1% commission, where Sylvester gets 3.5% on the dispo side, but then he gets a nice healthy chunk on JV deals because his relationships and working JV deals with other wholesalers, educating them, realtors, he puts a lot of work into that. So I give him 20% on that end of the business. Keeps him real motivated.
And that's acquiring and selling.
Dispositioning. It's the whole process.
So he's doing both.
Yes.
Okay, so that's super fair.
Super fair.
And then how much they get paid? 16 as well.
Yes.
That's a healthy wage.
Yep.
That's good.
I want to be very generous with my team. Like I said, I want to make sure they can eat and then some. If they have goals and dreams they're chasing after, we talk about that all the time. I want to be like one of their, channels that they can use in life to get that goal or dream that they're trying to achieve.
That's awesome, man. $16 can, it can attract some top talent. I mean, some good talent.
Let's get starting out. It's just for them to eat. But if they want to achieve that real great, huge paychecks, month after month. They have to get deals, and there has to be commissions. And that's what it ultimately comes down to, is if they're not getting deals and not getting those commissions, they're not here for the $16 an hour, then they gotta go.
Right.
They're not an A+ player.
Right. And I mean, with all the leads and marketing that you're doing, they should be able to get $100,000 in assignment fees a month.
They can do it.
And at 7% with $16 an hour, that's 6 figures a year.
It is 6 figures a year.
So that's
a lot
a
of
great
them are
plan.
making that. And we used to do a spiff, and I haven't done it in a while. I'm gonna do it again. Every 100 grand that they would get a month, the spiff was if they got it themselves and we closed it, they would get an extra 5 grand.
Ooh, that's 5%.
Yep, give them 5%. Here you go. Do it again next month. Do it again next month. You got to keep them motivated. Money motivates.
I like that. I like that a lot. So I heard you say a little thing in there. You said that you have a 5-minute meditation.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I do that every once in a while too with my team. What do y'all do? Just like.
So the meditations I do personally is a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations, and that's kind of off the topic. But in my personal life, it's helped me get a lot more centered. As entrepreneurs, we're out there creating a mess, trying to help people, but there's all these problems that we're dealing with, and it can create a lot of stress. So in your personal life, you got to do something to try to center yourself. And so being that I do that a lot in my personal life, I try to integrate it a little bit with the team. And so that's why it's only 5 minutes. I mean, in my personal life, I do half-hour blocks.
Me too.
So but 5 minutes just on a Monday after we discuss everything about business the week before, it's a great way to just kind of get centered before we go out and crush the week.
What is the difference you see in the spreads between cold calling, telemarketing leads, SMS, RVM, and PPC?
One of the biggest differences is that since you're getting the asking price out of the seller first, that's your starting basis. Where in cold calling, a lot of times you got to give them your price first because you called them, right? So it's a different mindset, and you're able to negotiate those deeper spreads into the deals because they have some serious motivation behind them.
Okay, but at the same time, there's pros and cons, right? So you'll get a deeper spread and an easier conversion, but the marketing is more expensive, right?
Marketing's a little bit more expensive. Depends how you tackle that, right? PPC, like I said earlier, if you go real broad, you can bring that cost per conversion down. So right now I'm at about $1,800 cost per conversion. I'm not even happy with that number. I want to see it down lower to $1,000. Is my goal.
Does cost per conversion mean cost per contract?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
So you're at $1,800 a contract.
Yep.
Isn't too bad.
It's not too bad. I think telecommunications I run between about 500 to 800.
Okay.
Depending, I haven't looked at it in a while, what my KPIs on that, but it's good when you look at direct mail. When I was in direct mail here locally, we were almost at $7,000 cost per contract, and our average deal size was around $11,000 back then. So there's not a lot of spread in there for profit and paying the team and everything that goes along in the business, right? Keeping the lights on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
No.
And so we're talking about you finding buyers everywhere.
Yep.
And obviously they're a part of the spread.
Yep.
Right? Better buyers,
Absolutely.
bigger spreads. So you were saying you use realtor lists and you lose you use a bunch of different things, but I also know we were talking about the last time that you have something called investor lists.
That's correct, investor list. So what I've talked about before, it's like the 80-20 rule. That's really the 20. Since we integrated the investor list, it has blown our business up. Like you get offers, bidding wars, because this guy Robert, he created this platform that he's captured all the buyers in the United States, and you can utilize his platform to display your deals on nationwide. So it has been a game changer for the disposition game in our business. And if you guys want to get on Investor Lift, Corey Geary, investorlift.Corey Geary, I think is how you can do it. You can get it on a discount, or just reach out to me on Facebook. I'll put you in touch with Robert and make sure you can capture that discount.
Okay. And we're talking a lot about, I mean, you're giving gold. You're dropping gold.
Thanks, man.
This session right here, like you guys, if you're on YouTube University right now, you are learning how to pretty much create a wholesaling company nationwide using PPC with these nuggets he's dropping. If you're able to, put the pieces together. So, I mean, that being said, you got like students and stuff, you coach, you mentor?
Well, I do. I just opened up mentorship literally 2 weeks ago. And so what the whole mentorship is geared for is someone who knows how to get deals. Maybe they get 1 or 2 a month in the local market. They're using the gateway drug of wholesale and telecommunications, and they want to scale on the nationwide model. And so that's what we're going to teach PPC. We're going to teach how we lock these deals up nationwide. We're going to teach how we dispose those deals and all the problems that you're going to encounter on the TC work. So we're going to be doing A to Z on how this business is constructed and built through the coaching and mentorship.
Man, you're gonna like go, you know, one-on-one with people or a group mentorship?
It's a group mentorship, but I'll be going one-on-one with people too. So I'm going to be integrating a lot of my time geared towards this this program, and I'll be integrating my team. So like if we got a week that we're going to discuss acquisitions, you know, and they got some objections that they're talking with sellers, you know, the sellers that give these objections, we're going to bring my team members in and see how they handle those objections, because they're in the weeds every day.
Yeah.
They know more than I do what's going on now.
Right. Man, well, see, I'm a big believer in mentors. That totally, I mean, do you believe in mentors?
Absolutely.
I mean, how much do you spend on mentors?
Over $250,000 I've spent in mentorship and coaching in this industry alone. And I've started getting into now on the personal life mentorship and coaching. I don't mind paying for it, because you get 10x of your return if you choose the right mentor and coach.
Oh, 100%. So, I mean, me personally, I've spent lots of money on mentors too, in wholesaling and personal.
Yep.
It's a cheat code.
It is a cheat code.
You know, it's like all we have is time.
Yep.
That's the most valuable asset in your life, right? Time.
Absolutely.
And it gives you more time.
It gives you more time.
It
You only got
speeds it
24
up.
hours in a day.
You know what I mean? You can get from A to, you know, Z. You can get to the next level a lot faster.
Very fast.
So, but one thing, guys, I will tell you though is definitely, you know, research and see who you're
Mentor
you know,
is.
who you're investing in, to make sure they know what they're talking about.
Yep. Practice what they preach.
Practice what they preach.
Do your due diligence.
Exactly, and just that they're really doing the business that they're teaching you.
There's a lot of them out there who don't.
Yeah, you want a guru,
Not a guru.
not a guru. You want a guru, someone really in the business. And if you go look on our YouTube, you're gonna see a video of us touring his office, and you're gonna see he really does this business. He's in the weeds every day. So that's what this is like helpful for, because there's some people like me personally. I mean, my first mentor, I wasted some money. Like
I did too, man.
And
we,
it hurt.
We were the newbies.
We were the
and we
newbies.
forked over a lot of money, and we didn't get a lot of return out of it. And what are you going to do about it, right? I mean, it's just, it's part of the lessons learned when you're going into any industry, I think. I don't care what you're going into, just do your due diligence. That's the biggest thing. Talk to people who have you know, used them as a mentor. I've coached them, you know. Maybe go visit their office. Maybe have a conversation with them. See if they're doing deals.
Yeah, show some HUD.
Show some HUDs, right? Say, hey, man, can I
some
see a
HUDs.
HUD that you did in California for like $50K?
Yeah.
You know, I started asking these questions before you go dumping all this money into them. That's very important.
All right, guys. So I hope y'all got a lot out of this interview, man. Corey really dropped some nuggets on y'all. So he really went from A to Z on how to do a wholesaling business nationwide. If you do a little bit more research, you can plug this in and put pieces together to make a whole lot of money.
Whole lot of money. Yep.
Okay, so reach out to Corey. Where can they find you at?
Facebook's the best spot. I do a lot of posts on there, so I'm very active on Facebook. You could DM me anytime on there, and I'll end up getting back to you. It's like almost my CRM of people who I need to get back to who are in the industry.
Okay, so that's the best way to get a hold of you.
Best way to get a hold of me.
Okay, so guys, if you want to reach out to Corey, look him up, Corey Geary.
Corey Geary.
On Facebook. And you know, he's an open book.
Open book, yep.
So man, I appreciate you having us by, man.
Absolutely, appreciate you having you guys, man.
All right, brother. I'll see y'all on the next one, and stay clutch.